Hello everybody, I'm going to be doing a collective reading today. The way that this works is basically I'm going to do a spiritual reading. If you happen to stumble across it, it basically just means that you're meant to receive this message just as the same as a personal reading works. We've happened to somehow get connected, it was all meant to be. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead with it, and it's my first time doing a collective reading, so very excited. I've been looking forward to it all day. I am in beautiful Kelowna, British Columbia. This is actually how I do a lot of my readings. I record them, I just send a video to people, and then afterwards people can follow up, ask some questions if they have any, let me know any feedback they have for me. That way you get to view it on your own time. There's no pressure to set out a time slot you might not have the energy for reading for. It allows you to be able to reference it over and over again if you need a refresher. So yeah, I'm gonna shuffle this with the intention of the collective and what message needs to be received by everybody right now. I think this is very important, and I was very called to do so over the last little while, and I kind of just got the big push last night to confirm it. Thankfully it's very warm today, it's beautiful, sun shining, it's very warm. I had to take off my sweater and my jacket. There's very beautiful mountains here. And I have my handy dandy carnelian, which is the Taurus stone actually, and I'm also a double Taurus, and it's just associated for me like with this deck. It actually has dendritic forms in it. It kind of looks like a tree branch. Can't really tell how well this looks in the sun right now, and how well it's focusing. I also have celestite with me, just a very good angel crystal to have. Very pure. Usually it just stays on my nightstand because for me to sleep at night. So yeah, I'm going to focus for a little bit and we'll get to it. So sometimes when I shuffle it takes longer because whatever card's meant to come out takes a while for it to get shuffled in. And I actually rarely get this one. It's 11 and it's Moonvine. Already the number 11 in numerology and 11 or 111 is a very pure start, beginning number. It's very angelic, which it doesn't surprise me that I picked up celestite today. I don't get this card a lot. The way I do my readings is basically I'd read from the text that is given to me in the guidebook because it's studied by someone who is very knowledgeable on the subject. And then I draw on what they say and I pick out the important parts and then I elaborate it with my own intuition and guidance that I'm being called. So once again, this is the card. It's very beautiful, and yeah. And I'm already being called to say the reason I brought up 1-1 in numerology and how it's the start and it's very pure angelic number is right now there's obviously a lot of fear going on in the world right now, and we're seeing a lot of systems crumble, and I think to me this is already saying that it's just a very big, like, it's okay. I think we were going down a very dark path for a long time in terms of just a lot of structures in the world, and I think this is basically saying that all that is going to crumble, but with that all the good and new and pure beginnings will begin, because I think for a long time we felt this big shift happening in the planet where there was a lot of positive forces arising, but there's all these negative ones still in play, and I think this was kind of like, okay, we need something really big, like something global, to shut down all the bad crap and start new. Obviously there's a lot of bad stuff going on in the world right now, I'm not denying that. Right now I'm trying to focus more on the good that can come out of these times, considering that the people that are viewing this are privileged enough to have access to internet and probably have access to a home, food, and all the very blessed things that we get to have as privileged people. So I think the intention behind this reading is obviously not say there's a lot of horrible things going on in the world. It's to shine a light on the good things that are going to come out of this very big shift that is happening right now, and the kind of intention behind why it's happening, this very big silver lining. Once again, there is obviously a lot of poor things going on in the world and in life. Sometimes it feels that way, but I think this is going to be kind of like the message from the trees that's just saying this is what they bring to us, and this is kind of the knowledge that we can access that we're very unaware of, and the news is obviously not going to cover this tree reading. So this is my message that I'm communicating for the trees about everything in this collective message that people need to hear right now, because I feel like there's a lot of fear structures and things breaking off in the world, and considering it's 1-1, to me that's meaning that 1 before was the beginning, and that's kind of when the universe formed, and this is saying that we're kind of beginning this next phase, which is unreal. Like everything we thought we knew is crumbling. For the people that aren't as spiritual, I think there's a spiritual meme about this, basically saying how the normies are watching all these systems crumble and everything they thought they knew is just kind of going away, and then all the spiritual people are so used to having these very existential thoughts, more or less, and we're very used to kind of questioning life and appreciating life and being very in touch with life, death, and a lot of these cycles that we notice in the universe and within nature, like we are one with nature. I think that's another big thing that's going to come up with in this card, is that saying that like we are one with nature, and now we're about to enter into like the next phase of where the world is going. I think we're going to lose a lot of very typical structures, and we're going to have the freedom to break away from that and still feel supported, like we can still have a life. I think for a very long time we've been going down this road of our work and our jobs were just becoming everything, and people were living places based off of where they worked rather than living somewhere and getting a job on the side, and that kind of mentality carried out to various aspects of your life. That's just one example. When was it that we decided that we'd rather live somewhere we hate to ensure that we get some sort of job that we like, that we don't live to work, we work to live? And obviously we're not always going to have our ideal jobs, but I 100% think we have a say in what we dedicate our life to, and the work we dedicate our life to. We can definitely make a career out of literally anything if we put enough time, effort, and energy into things, and it's just about being pure with your intentions and really passionate and caring towards what you're doing. So I'm going to jump into the actual meaning in here of the card, and then we'll quickly discover how these messages I have beforehand connect to it, and yeah, we'll see if anything synchronizes, which I'm sure it will. So the moon vine, which I'm just going to say vine, and it's 11. The northern hemisphere dates are July 11th to August 7th. The totems are lions, simps, nymphs, elves, fairies, deities, the green man, Pan, the mother aspect of the goddess. Fairies are very associated with trees, and they're playful, very spiritual energy. They're very lovely, pure creatures. So the letter for this is M, the class is Shiffian, the 10th Lunatian celebration of Lammas is August 1st. So the keywords for this card are bringing things to fruition, abundance, harvest, community, prophecy, psychic, enjoyment, celebration, laughter, abundance, summer, intoxication, and ecstasy. You'll see me kind of cut in and cut out because I will just read things as they become important and their message comes to me. So I'll just jump into bringing things to fruition was for me, one of the more potent keywords. To me, this can be interpreted a lot of ways. I've done other readings where bringing things to fruition is more about like creative ideas and stuff like that. To me, this is actually referring to kind of what I was talking about in the beginning. This things are being brought to fruition now, for they've been building for so long that we were in this very spiritual shift, that the world was kind of like this big tree, like let's say the tree of life, and let's say it's like an apple tree, or a hawthorn, and bringing things to fruition basically means that you have these buds that start poking out, and then they bring new life. So you can bring a flower, they can bring apples, and I think for a very long time, with this number being 1 to me, another way of explaining what I was saying before is that 1 was this creation of the universe, where we're shifting into now. I used to call things like 5D, like seeing the world in 3D, 4D, 5D. This to me is something new and different. Before the universe was 1, and now we're stepping into 1, also being 11, not -1, just 1. And to me, it's like kind of like the next like evolution of spirituality, life, connectedness, because no matter what anyone says, no one understands and is sure why we're here. We don't know that as a fact, and that's where spirituality kind of comes into the universe. Is people could say you don't know what you're talking about, or like this isn't science or whatever, but the thing is, no one knows anything. Actually, you can prove some things with some synchronicities and events, but no one can really say for sure why we're here. And I think right now there's a big spiritual shift coming that's going to force all the people that are not thinking in a spiritual way to kind of awaken. And anyone who has awakened knows it's not a fun process all the time. It's not like you just wake up one day and you're, oh my god, I'm just so spiritual. It literally usually takes having those existential crises where you're kind of upset or you're freaking out and you're like, what is life? Why are we here? Why do we die? You kind of have that like big freak out, which I think a lot of people are having right now, which is why I referenced that meme. And then it shifts into awakenedness, where you're operating in the world and you're, oh, I'm actually present right now, and I have this connection with someone as a friend or as a loved one or as a family member or a partner, and you can feel it. Like, you can feel it in the trees, you can feel it in people, you can feel it when you step outside and go into the sun. I think people before have swayed either completely to the spiritual side or completely to the scientific side. The thing with trees and with earth healing is all about holistic, is about saying we're not denying any of the science aspect of things, but we're not saying that things, like, you also can't prove pretty much like everything. Like, there's so many things we don't know. So for example, the sun, there's a lot of scientific benefits that we obviously know. If you plant certain plants and you give it sunlight, they will grow. But if you don't give them any sunlight, they won't grow. That's just science. But there's also a very nice, like, spiritual miracle. Like, I can explain that to someone in science, but then you're kind of like, what even is photosynthesis? Like, how crazy is that? I don't freaking know. Let's get to it. So bringing things to fruition, I think that's basically the universe saying right now that this is like the flowering of the fruit. Like, this has kind of been brewing for a long time. It's been in this budding stage, and now the apple tree is growing apples and the hawthorn tree is growing its flowers. We're starting to see the result of what has been brewing in the universe for a long time. And I think it's going to force a lot of people to have this harsh awakening for some people who aren't very spiritual, but that's a good thing. And this is where we start seeing shadow work, and why shadow work is important, and why there's like a yin and yang in life. If there was no darkness, we wouldn't be able to see light, and if everything was light, we wouldn't be able to see darkness. Interpret that how you will. The other big keywords that were coming through for me, obviously abundance came through twice, which to me, I'm not gonna lie, I don't lie in my readings. I don't know what that means yet, so maybe we'll find out. I feel like it's gonna have something to do with this, like, flowering and fruit, this idea of the universe bringing forth and bringing things to fruition, and it's gonna have to do with the abundance of what it's bringing forth. Oh, I just got it. See, this is why I don't make things up. Okay, so as I was saying about bringing things to fruition, and let's just picture the universe has been in this budding stage for a while, and now we're going into the fruition stage. As if it was an apple tree, it'd be apples, and if it was a hawthorn tree, it would be the hawthorn flower, which is white little cute flower. So